Quilting with rulers on a long arm quilting machine can be a little scary at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun. Hey everybody, it's me, Angela Walters from quiltingismytherapy.com, and in this video tutorial, we're going to talk about how to quilt with arc-shaped rulers on our long arm quilting machine. In my upcoming Free Motion Challenge Quilting Along video series, we're going to learn how to quilt some designs using arced, curved, and pointy rulers, including how to create motifs, arced echoing, and other complex looking designs. Plus, we're going to learn how to quilt them on a sewing machine and a long arm. So to learn more about that, just click the link in the description box below or visit quiltingismytherapy.com. But before we can learn how to use arc rulers to create some pretty awesome designs, we have to learn how to quilt them on a long arm. So in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you just how fun that is. There is a little bit of a learning curve when it comes to quilting with rulers on a long arm, and that's especially the case with arc-shaped rulers. Arc-shaped rulers are awesome because they help me create those long curves that are almost impossible for me to quilt on a long arm without some help. Being able to engage both sets of wheels as you're quilting around those curves just means a ruler is going to give you a little bit of help. Now, one thing you've probably noticed is that there's a lot of different shapes and sizes of arc rulers. But the thing to remember is that not every ruler is perfect for every quilter. Some of them might be bigger or smaller. They might have a different curve on each side. Some are even concave, so you're quilting along the inside of the curve as opposed to the outside. And some, like my Smiley ruler, which I designed with Creative Grids, has two different arcs on each side, with some needle stops that make it easy to quickly reposition. I always like to suggest a ruler that's about the size of your hand is great when you're starting out with ruler quilting. There are a couple different things you're going to need when quilting with rulers on a long arm. You're going to need your ruler base, which gives you a nice sturdy platform for your ruler. And be sure you have a ruler that's 1/4 inch thick. Most long arms have a hopping foot, and what you don't want is a thinner ruler that slides right underneath there. That's never any good. Once you have everything in place, you're ready to start quilting. I like to start by positioning my machine where I want to begin quilting, and then moving the ruler up to the foot. For the most part, you can quilt on any side of the foot, and that's actually a good thing because we're going to have to get comfortable quilting those arcs in all different directions. In the beginning, I'm going to start with my ruler on the left side of the foot and positioning it so the needle stop is around the foot. Then I'm going to hold the ruler firmly without pushing down too much. One common thing that newer ruler quilters will do is they feel like, oh, I really need to hold it in place really tight. But what happens is you put too much pressure on your ruler base and it's hard to move your machine. I need a light but firm grip, which is kind of tricky to explain over a video. Basically, I want to hold it down so it stays in place without pushing too hard. I'm also holding the ruler so that my fingers are close to the edge that I'm quilting. It's natural to want to keep your fingers well away from the needle, but if you hold the ruler too far back, it can kind of come up a little bit along the edge, and it's not going to give you a stable surface to quilt along. So I'm positioning my fingers so that they're about 1/2 inch or so away from the edge of the ruler. Then I'm going to turn on my machine and start quilting along it. Now, one of the tricky things about quilting along curves like this is the point of contact is going to change as you move along the ruler. I cannot tell you how many times I started by quilting along that curve only to end up going out in no man's land. So as you're quilting along the ruler, be really mindful about where the point of contact is between the foot and the ruler. And another thing to remember is that you don't have to quilt along that whole curve without stopping. You can definitely pause, take your time, reposition the ruler, have a drink of your quilting juice, whatever it is you need to do, and then continue back with your quilting, working your way along that arc. Now, I've designed Smiley so that he's about the size of my hand, but if you're working with longer arcs, the one thing I want to get you in the habit of is not quilting beyond your fingertips. Once the foot of the machine moves past my fingertips, I'm going to lose control of that ruler. So I need to pause often and reposition my hands as I go, especially if you're using larger arced rulers. And this is the case no matter what shape of ruler I'm using. I'm always going to keep the foot of the machine in between my fingers. Once I get to the end of the ruler, it's time to move on by either repositioning my ruler or rotating it or creating whatever design we want to create. In this example, I'm going to come right back down and create a nice kind of pointy petal shape. So now I'm going to have to flip the ruler around and work from the other side of my foot. Most rulers have reference lines to help you easily position your rulers. For example, I've designed Smiley so that this reference line right here goes along the previously quilted line, so I can easily see that it's in place where it needs to go. And once we begin to work our way down the other side of the ruler, we're going to learn really quickly that we have to get comfortable quilting in all different directions. Quilting along the ruler until I run out of room. Then I'm going to pause, reposition my hand to the other side, and continue along. Unlike quilting on a sewing machine, we don't have the option to change the orientation of our quilt. We have to learn how to use these rulers in all different directions. And sure, some directions will be a little trickier than others, but that's okay. Just take your time and work through it, and it's going to be fine. So far, we have worked in a vertical motion on the left and right side of the foot, but if we were going to quilt horizontally, we'd have to do the same thing, positioning the ruler and then quilting along it, making sure to reposition my hands as I quilt along. I cannot stress this enough. If there's only one thing you remember from this video, remember that. I want to keep the foot of the machine in between my fingers. And as I move the ruler around to the other side, we're going to see that I have to work with my hand behind the foot. Again, just taking my time, quilting along that ruler, repositioning my hands as I go. Now, when it comes to quilting with rulers, it's going to take a little bit of practice to get comfortable with it. So if you're struggling a little bit in the beginning, try not to be discouraged. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll be quilting with these arc-shaped rulers. One common frustration for newer machine quilters, especially with these arc rulers, is struggling with keeping the ruler in place. As you're quilting, your ruler might wiggle or move around a little bit, and that can be really frustrating. If you're struggling with that, you can add extra grip to the back of your rulers. I've designed the Creative Grids rulers so they have their patented grip on the back, and that helps them hold in place. But if you need a little bit more sticking power, you can add some extra to your rulers. You could try Handy Grip or other types of ruler tape. It's really handy because you can cut it in smaller pieces and position it on the rulers where you need help. And even though these rulers are helping us create designs that are as smooth as possible, they're not meant to be perfect. We're not aiming for perfection here, we're aiming for close enough. So as you're quilting, even if your ruler moves around a little bit, or you feel like your design isn't quite right, I promise, once you fill in the rest of the quilt, it's gonna look fine. So try not to get too discouraged right off the bat. It just takes a little bit of practice. And if you have any questions about quilting with arc rulers on the Longarm, just leave them in the comment section below.